Hello and welcome to the overview video for Wave Creator. In this video we'll be looking at Wave Creator, an asset I made for Unity, and we'll be looking at its options, how you can customize it and how you can set it up in your scene, and as well as that we'll be looking at the float and submerged effect script which are included. So without further ado, let's look at Wave Creator. Here I have opened the example scene which is included in Wave Creator, and as you can see the shader is working and looking really good. You've got some edge blend, edge fade here, shoreline foam, wave foam, specular effects, and the real displacement of the waves. So that's what Wave Creator looks like. Let's set it up in our own scene. So here's a scene I made earlier. It's really simple, it's just a terrain with an island in the middle, and I've textured it in sand. I've also adjusted some settings. I've added a directional light to light up the scene. I've added fog, changed the ambient light to a lighter colour, and I've added this skybox. So now I'm going to add water to it. So to add Wave Creator, go to Game Object, Create Other, Water Body, and here this pops up. You need to make sure you've saved your scene before you create. You then have these options. Input the width and length of your terrain. The width is the length along the X and the length is along the Z. In this case my terrain is 1000 by 1000. You then have some performance options. You've got the resolution of mesh. The higher the resolution, the slower, or the slower it will take your computer to calculate the waves. But for desktop, the highest is fine. And then for your shader, you have all features, no edge fade, or no edge fade, or specularity. All features will be fine for desktop. Consider using these two if you're developing for mobile. Once you're happy with all these settings, click Create Water Body. Okay, and you can get rid of this window, and now we can see we have the water in our scene. Now the next step in setting this up is to click on the water body, and you'll see you have the material here in the inspector. Go to Reflection and click Regenerate Cube Map. You only want to click this if you already have a skybox. Basically this takes all the information from the skybox and produces a reflection. So whenever you change your skybox or add a skybox, always click Regenerate Cube Map. So now we've done the reflection. There's one more step to go. Go to your main camera object and add this script here, which I have already added. To add this, you need to go to add scripts, and it will be a script called setCamPos. So when you've added this script, go to your water body variable and change it for the water body in your scene, like so. Basically, this tells the water body where your camera is. So once you've done that, Wave Creator is all set up, and now we can customize some of the options. So we will go to our water body and go to the material. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to talk about some assets. So if you go to Wave Creator, Scene Assets, you'll have some folders in here if you've created some water bodies, and basically each folder contains the assets for each scene. So in this case my scene is called Scene 1. So if I go into Scene 1 Water Assets, I have 4 things here. You've got the height map, the reflection cube map, the water body prefab, and the water material. All these are generated automatically when you click Create Water Body. So that's just for some information there so you know where these assets are stored. So now let's get on to editing this. Let's go to the water body and go to the material, and we'll start on the top, which is colours, These are fairly self-explanatory, the deep watercolour and the shallow watercolour. I've changed them there just so you can see where they affect, and you can adjust them with this slider like so, just to see where you like the blending, and you can Control Z to undo any of that. Then you've got the edge fade, so I may want to up this like so, and that's just how blended it is around the edges of our terrain. So you can see that what effect that has. Then you've got some textures. These are included, you may not want to change them. So you've got the normal water texture and then the normal map. Then we've got some lighting effects here. So basically this specular colour is the colour of the light which is reflecting off of your water. If I play, I'll try and show you that. Hold on. There we go, you just saw a bit of it there. You can see this white where the directional light is reflecting off the water. So if I change the reflection colour to red, for example, the specular colour to red, you can see what effect that has. And the shininess is how much reflection there is, like so. All these options are preset in, so they're quite good as standard. You then have the foam options. You've got the foam colour, like so. Also, if we go back to the colours option here, you can adjust the alpha values to change the transparency of your water. And it goes for the same as this foam colour here, where you can make the foam more or less transparent. You've then got the foam texture, which is included, and then you've got the shoreline foam amount, which I will reduce in this case, and you've got the amount of foam on the waves, like so. And now we go on to the wave options. So we've got the height of the waves, like so. We've got the steepness of the waves, so this is how, if this is a high value, there'll be a sharp point. If it's a low value, they'll be rolling. The frequency of the waves, so there you can see there's less waves coming in. The velocity, so if I change this up to 20, the waves move faster. Then you've got some movement options. If you select circular, the waves move towards a certain point. In this case it's 0, 0. And you have to bear in mind that 0, 0 is the centre of the water body. So make sure you calculate that right. 0, 0 is the centre. Or you can go for directional. And if I set this to 1, 0, for example, we can see all the waves moving this way. Or if I set it to 1, 1, we can see all the waves moving towards the corner there. So you can either have it directional or moving towards a point. I'm going to set it back to circular and moving towards the centre. And then you've got the wave fade out. So our camera is located here, and the waves are generated around that camera, so there are no waves over this corner here because there doesn't need to be, because it's too far away from our camera. Basically, the wave fade out is how far away from the camera the waves are generated. In this case, the waves start to be generated at 300 units away from our camera. So I am fairly happy with all those variables there. You've then got the height map. Basically, you need to click regenerate height map if you ever change your terrain. And here you have the texture, which is the height map. And to demonstrate why, I'm going to quickly build this island here, and you will notice there's no shoreline foam or edge fade around it because at the moment the material doesn't know this is here. So if you ever change your terrain like that, always remember to click Regenerate Height Map. And now I've clicked it, you can see you've got shoreline foam effects, and that all looks really good. So remember to click that if you change your terrain. So these are all those options, and that's it for the water body as such. But you've also got some other scripts in your scene. So I will now go on to the float script. If I just create a cube, like so, and then position it in my terrain, or in my water body, sorry, like so, and then if I go to Add Component, Scripts, Float, this will let the cube float on the waves. So if I, in the water body variable, select the water body in my scene, and if I play the scene, we can see just about here the cube is floating on the waves, like so. It's a little small for that camera because it's a fair way away, but you get the idea. So if I play it again, you can see this. And now if I show you these other variables, you've got the offset. So this is how much it is off the surface of the water. So if it's a positive value, it will rise up out of the water. If it's a negative value, it will sink into the water. So you can adjust that. And then you've also got the random rotation factor. I'm going to make the cube a bit bigger so it's easier to see. You've also got the random rotation factor. So the higher this is, the more rotation there will be. So as you can see, that's a lot, and that doesn't look too realistic for these waves. Or we can set it to a smaller amount, so there will be less, and it's only moving slightly. So those are those two variables you can change on the float script. So that's the float script, and now I'm going to show you the Submerged Effect script. If you go to your camera, go to Add Component, Scripts, Submerged Effect, you'll add this script. If you go to the water body, select the water body in your scene, like you did from the float script. And now to demonstrate this, I am going to put my camera sort of near the surface of the water, like so, and if I play this, we'll see it's totally normal, and then when a wave comes over us, like so, we see underwater effects. So that's what the Submerged Effect script does. It's a really nice script, and it just produces that nice effect when a wave goes over the camera, like so. And you have some other variables you can change here. If I submerge the camera even more, so it's always underwater, the underwater color is simply basically it will automatically adjust this every time you go under. So if I go under now, we can see this has taken effect. So the underwater color is the color that you see under the wave or underwater, as you might expect. And then you've got the underwater visibility. So if I set this to a small number, such as if I set it to 0.04, for example, we can see a fair way underwater. Whereas if it's a high number, the water, you can't see very far. So those are those two variables in the Submerged Effect script. So I hope you have found this video informative. Hope you find Wave Creator easy to use and like the asset. Thank you very much for watching.